Hello, good morning. This is Rayan. Thank you, the Living Data 2025 organizer, for this opportunity. My presentation, Mapping Wetland for Biodiversity Policy, data application from Sudan and South Sudan. Show how open source geospatial data can inform national decision on biodiversity, climate adaptation, and land use planning. Wetlands are vital ecosystems that deliver multiple benefits: habitat for wildlife, water filtration and food control, and carbon sequestration. In Sudan and South Sudan, wetlands cover thousands of kilometers, yet remain poorly mapped and underrepresented in policy frameworks. My policy objective here is simple: provide robust, shareable wetland data that ministry and practitioners can use to align conservation, land use, and climate mitigation implementation. This study focused solely on wetland system in Sudan and South Sudan. The selected sites are Dindir Rahad and the Sud, representative system with clear management trade-offs. Inputs include digitized wetland polygons derived from satellite imagery, multiple land cover product, and published inventories such as Ramsar documentation and regional literature and also international. The method emphasizes reproducibility and equal area calculations for transparent area reporting. This map shows the spatial distribution of major wetland across Sudan and South Sudan, highlighting the 12 identified systems, 9 in Sudan and 3 in South Sudan, classified by type such as floodplain and like floodplains, swamp, seasonal marsh, and the selection was guided by location, climate, and water resource, emphasizing ecological diversity across the region wetland zone. The workflow is designed for decision use. Literature and existing inventories provide context. Using the QGIS, we digitize wetland polygons from high-resolution imagery, cross-checked boundary with the C4 global wetland data set, and land cover information was derived from the three European Space Agency product of 2009 and 2016, allowing us to detect differences and quantify uncertainty. This simple workflow embodies the living data vision in combining free, interoperable data sets to generate policy-relevant biodiversity indicators. The wetland complex comprises river canal, floodplain, maya, and gallery forest. Published extent vary by definition. The park boundary is cited at roughly 7,000 kilometers square, while floodplain assessment extend to about 10,000 kilometers square. For transparency, this study report the digitized Dindir Rahad wetland polygon area computed in equal area projection as 600 kilometers square. The area supports riverine, tree, seasonal grasses, significant waterbird, and large mammal like African buffalo and lions. Important consideration when designing conservation zone and livelihood buffer. Here we see the 3S land cover product for Dindir Rahat system from 2009-16 and Africa land cover 2016. Data sets, the brown and green area showed clear shift. Tree and shrub cover has declined while cropland has expanded, especially in the northern and central and northern part of the wetland. This cross comparison was essential to confirm mapping consistency and estimate the uncertainty margin. The Africa land cover data set shown on the right offer the highest spatial precision and align best with the recent satellite imagery, so it was used as a baseline for area calculation and policy interpretation. From policy perspective, the map, the gender extent highlight the three priorities. First, by overlaying land cover classes with protected area boundary, we can prioritize floodplain mayas or expose bows for ecological restoration. Second, adopt floodplain buffer and zoning informed by inundation frequency. Map to reduce conflict between agriculture and seasonal wetland. Finally, integrating this map into Sudan climate action reporting supports the sustainable land management adaptation measure, which call for identifying degraded ecosystem for restoration. The second case is the Sud. The Sud is among the world's largest inland wetland, a vast mosaic of barbarous marsh, floating vegetation, and branched canals. Our mapped dry season extent is about 24,000 square kilometers, consistent across all ESA dataset, with the historical record showing expansion to over 50,000 square kilometers. The Sud biodiversity include iconic species such as Nile lichwa, Tianj antelope, and the shoebill stork, all sensitive to hydrological change. The Sud wetland, the same ESA dataset revealed the enormous variability of wetland extent across year. The 2009-2016 map captured differences driven mainly by rainfall and flood intensity, while the Africa 2016 map gave a more detailed picture of vegetation mosaic within the floodplain. You can notice the expansion of flooded vegetation land and reduction of permanent open water in the most recent map, a pattern consistent with satellite observation and regional hydrological data. These comparisons provide confidence in using the ESA product to define reliable dry season baseline for South Sudan ecosystem monitoring. Mapping the Sud is crucial for ecosystem-based adaptation under South Sudan climate action. This dataset provides the first consistent baseline for tracking wetland extent, flood variability, and potential carbon storage. It provides tangible adaptation co-benefit and also contribute to mitigation via carbon stored in vegetation and peat-like soils in perennial marshes, meaning it should be recognized explicitly in national inventories. Beyond mapping, the next step is to build a wetland priority index using multi-criteria analysis, combining biodiversity, degradation, and socioeconomic data to rank sites for conservation and restoration, making this workflow open and reproducible, aligned with the living data and GBIF principle: findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable biodiversity information that directly inform decision. To conclude, integrating open biodiversity data has provided a clearer picture of Sudan and South Sudan wetland, their extent, and the pressures they face. This insight can directly feed into climate action implementation, Ramsar reporting, and national land use planning. Both Sudan's NDC's connection maps feed into adaptation and ecosystem resilience. For the policy use, support Ramsar updates a national wetland prioritization and transboundary water dialogue. The next step is to develop an interactive open access dashboard where decision maker can visualize wetland condition and trend in real time. Continuing the living data mission to make biodiversity information truly actionable. Yeah, thank you for your attention to the Living Data 2025 organizer and sponsor for enabling this exchange of open data and ideas. And I welcome collection and collaboration, and I look forward to discussion how we can operationalize this data for resilience of wetland policy in Sudan and South Sudan. Thank you.